When it comes to animals that get a bad rap, few get it worse than bats. Bats have historically been associated with blood-sucking creatures of the night and are now tied to the spread of COVID-19. But rather than being the flying fiends of myth and pop culture, bats are actually nature's flying farmers. Classified under the order Chiroptera, bats are an incredibly diverse group. In fact, they are the second largest order of mammals, making up to 20% of all mammal species. Ranging from the bumblebee bat weighing in at a tiny 2.5 grams to the flying foxes that can have a wingspan of over 5 feet. As we mentioned earlier, bats tend to have a pretty bad reputation. Chiroptophobia, or the fear of bats, seems to be a phenomenon experienced on a cultural level in many societies. The perception of these creatures as harbingers of evil is largely due to the influence of Western cultural ideas. However, in many other cultures, bats are seen in a more positive light. For example, the Zapotec civilization of pre-Columbian Mexico revered the bat as a deity presiding over corn and fertility. In ancient Chinese culture, bats are associated with long life, and bat motifs are often found in art and architecture all over East Asia as a good luck charm. Being India's largest bat, the Indian flying fox's size and presence in urban areas make it easy to identify. They are often seen around sunset, flying towards their preferred feeding grounds. In parts of Tamil Nadu, these animals are associated with the Munniyandi guardian deities. Devotees offer fruit and rice near trees where the bats are known to roost to invoke their protection. In Bihar, communities view the flying fox as an emissary of the goddess Lakshmi and a bringer of wealth. Villagers living in the vicinity of Baduli Kurung, literally the bat cave, in central Assam, also worship bats living in the cave as guardian deities that protect the forest and water sources. In recent times, bats have again fallen into disrepute. In 2020, the media quickly jumped to blame them as the source of the COVID-19 virus. This claim has never been verified. However, the fact remains that bats tend to be carriers of some pretty nasty diseases that can be fatal to humans. Species that find themselves in this particular predicament are known as disease reservoirs. Yep, it's a pretty extreme descriptor. Bats, being social creatures, share their roosts with other members of their species as well as other kinds of bats. This close proximity makes it very easy for disease to spread around. Now, despite being carriers of human-killing diseases, bats seem to flap along without showing any signs of debilitating symptoms. Their amazing resilience to disease is most likely linked to their ability to fly. Most mammals are simply unable to handle the immense amounts of energy required for powered flight. The heat generated by such activity would normally cause huge amounts of damage to an organism's DNA. But bats, in their quest to evolve powered flight, have also evolved amazing defense systems that keep their DNA from disintegrating while flying. These defenses may be the key to bats' resilience to the diseases that they carry. Favoring the hours of darkness, bats are well adapted to their nocturnal lifestyle. Contrary to the popular saying, "as blind as a bat," flying foxes, for example, have evolved amazing night vision and a very keen sense of smell. Other bats have evolved their own sonar systems. Take, for example, the critically endangered Kollar leaf-nosed bat. There are less than 200 of them, and they all live in a single cave. Like many of its microbat cousins, the Kollar leaf-nosed bat has evolved large ears that not only give it acute hearing, but when paired with its high-pitched chittering calls, gives it the power of echolocation. Bats with this ability construct their spatial awareness using sound, enabling them to identify prey as well as potential threats. The vampire bat is probably the most well-known member of the bat family. While it's true that they feed on blood, There are only 3 species of vampire bats, and they can only be found in Central and South America. India is also home to the greater and lesser false vampire bat. Although these 2 species bear a striking resemblance to their hemophagic cousins, they do not drink blood but rather use their echolocation to hunt insects. The vast majority of bats are insectivores, frugivores, or nectarivores. These are nature's flying farmers, whose feeding habits help to maintain healthy forests. Insectivorous bats aid in controlling insect pests. One study done in 2011 estimated that insectivorous bats greatly reduce the need for chemical insecticides, saving the American agricultural industry between $3.7 billion to $53 billion worth of pesticides and potential damage to crops every year. That's about double Rupert Murdoch's entire family's net worth saved every year because of bats' contribution to pest control. Large fruit-eating bats like the Indian flying fox can travel up to 60 kilometers in a single night to search for food and also spread the seeds of fruiting trees far and wide. These species also tend to live in huge colonies of thousands of individuals. Studies indicate that bats disperse a larger amount of seeds per species than birds, greatly increasing the chances of seed establishment in tropical forests. Bats, whose diet mainly consists of nectar from flowers, pollinate trees as they fly from flower to flower. Studies have revealed that over 500 plant species rely heavily on bats to pollinate their flowers. Certain species of mango, banana, and durian rely on different species of bat for both seed dispersal and pollination. Even the agave plant, from which we distill tequila, has managed to proliferate because of bats. These plants have even evolved to suit bats' nocturnal habits by blooming at night and evolving pale flowers which do not attract insect pollinators. Due to these amazing attributes, ecologists and conservationists continue to advocate the conservation of bat species as part of a comprehensive strategy to regenerate forests and combat climate change. With this understanding, it's pretty easy to relate to those people groups who see the bat as a guardian spirit. Unfortunately, like many other animals, habitat loss, pollution, and environmental degradation have all contributed to a drop in bat populations. Our perception of a species goes a long way when prioritizing the need for their conservation. Charismatic species like tigers and giant pandas seem to take all the attention. At Science in Real Life, we believe that it's time for a paradigm shift. It's time to recognize bats for the role that they actually play in nature, rather than judge them by misinformed and antiquated myths. So next time you see one of these fascinating flying fellows, do not fear a vampire attack. In fact, the next time you eat a mango or enjoy a tequila, thank the bats who play a crucial role in maintaining the delicate balance of our forests and green places. So that's all from us here at Science in Real Life. We'll be back with another video next week. If you liked this one or didn't, do let us know in the comments. Tell your friends and follow us on Instagram since it really helps us with the algorithm. If you want more information on our sources or just prefer reading over waiting a couple extra days to catch the video, join us over on Medium. Until next time, stay curious.